Morning. Back in November, December 1977, I got a telephone call from Mike Birch to say that they'd been in business a year and a half, and one of their institutional clients had inquired if they would do some civil engineering work for them on a large development down in Teesside. The problem was that they didn't have anybody to do it. Of course, I'd known the founding partners for many years before. We'd worked the same practices in history, so that's why they contacted me. So really, the choice of moving to Cundall Johnston Partners, as it was then, was do I leave a well-established civil engineering consultancy, or do I go to a new fledgling company? However, knowing the guys that set up in business, I made the decision basically, and started with them in February 1978. Well, I suppose you could say it was a can-do, will-do culture, bearing in mind that these guys had taken a bit of a risk to set up in business in the mid-70s, and they didn't have a track record for marketing, so it was all a question of marketing skills and the people that they had, basically. Well, I think there's three things I would consider. One really was managing to get standalone civil engineering work to contribute to the partnership. We got work with Northumbrian Water on their framework agreements, English partnership, and a standalone highways work, which was quite difficult to get, bearing in mind the number of established consultants that were around. I think the next thing really was setting up, or being an initiator almost, of setting up the geotechnical, transportation and town planning departments in the business. Previously, we needed these services, but we used to have to buy them in. We did try joint venture companies, and they didn't work particularly well. So being encouraged to set these up, much in the same way as London office and their M&E departments set up acoustics, lift and other specialisms, fire engineering, etc. So that was really the second one. The third one really is more recent, that this staff that I took on 35 years ago, who were trainees, graduates, and to see them now blossomed into the leaders of the practice throughout the world is made me very proud of them, and that at least I've had a little say in their future. When the practice was originally set up, each partner had a section, and they were single discipline sections. So therefore, it was in the early days, it was partner to partner really was where the collaboration came in, and to gain expertise and such like. But I think later on, when we moved to a sector-based operation, such as infrastructure, commercial offices, leisure, or something like this, that invariably meant that we had to have a collaborative culture, because we were working across disciplines. But I think one of the difficulties was getting people to communicate with each other, and quite frankly, there were some people who found it a bit of a weakness to go and have to ask somebody else about something that they thought they would do themselves. But obviously we didn't want to reinvent wheels, because quite often a lot of these things had been done before. So it was trying to get that sort of culture to, make people empowered to go and speak to others. Well, I think what engineers need to know is that no matter what level they're at, they're equally important with their peers, and therefore they shouldn't be afraid of seeking assistance and help. It's not a weakness from others, and they're all contributing to the same aim. So that's a culture that you've got to build in, so that people get the confidence of communicating with others across the practice, and now, of course, overseas. One of the main things is the succession of the practice. I was heavily involved in the early days when the founding partners left, in coming up with succession planning, and it seems to have had a great success over the years. And now we've got a practice which is still wholly owned by the partners, and I would like to see future leaders trying to give the continuity to that. Admittedly, you'll probably have to adapt depending on business circumstances in the next 20, 30 years, but who knows. But the other thing I'd like Cundall to do is to be at the forefront of technology, to embrace technology, and I'd like to see them be a centre of excellence.